Hi everyone and welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we will discuss a critical topic for aspiring dentists. What is a good DAT score? We'll dive into the significance of percentiles and how your GPA and other factors can impact your chances of getting into dental school. So let's jump right in. The DAT is scored on a scale of 1 to 30, with 30 being the highest possible score. Now let's talk about percentiles. A percentile rank indicates the percentage of test takers who scored lower than you. For example, if your score is in the 75th percentile, it means that you scored higher than 75% of your peers. So what are the 50th, 75th and 90th percentile scores? These numbers can vary slightly each year, but generally, a score around 18 to 19 is considered to be in the 50th percentile. A score of approximately 20 to 21 is in the 75th percentile. A score of around 21 is in the 90th percentile, and a score above 23 is the 98th percentile. But what is a good DAT score? The average score for acceptance is around 20 AA, so I would say any score above 20 is a good score. Now let's talk in more detail. So, scoring a 21 to 23 AA is a major accomplishment and should be celebrated. With this score, you have demonstrated your ability to learn, understand, and apply the foundational knowledge necessary to succeed in dental school. There's no need for a retake with this score. In fact, I advise against it, as it's not worth the risk of receiving a lower score. If you have a 21 to 23 AA and are still having trouble gaining acceptance, improving other aspects of your application or interview is a more productive use of your time than retaking the DAT. Now, if you score a 24 plus AA, congratulations, you're in the highly competitive range. This score is reserved for the top 1 to 3 percentiles of test takers. Dental schools will take your application very seriously, and your chances of acceptance are high. You're also in a competitive position to take advantage of merit-based scholarships offered by your school or schools of acceptance. With this score, you can definitely check the DAT off your application to-do list. A lack of acceptance with this score means there may be a glaring issue with the rest of your application. In such a situation, I recommend utilising any free or paid application review resources to identify and remedy weaknesses, such as our application services. If your AA score falls between 19 to 20, you're at the lower end of the competitive range for admission. While many students do gain admission with this score, it's important to have a well-rounded and pristine application submitted early to stand out among other applicants. While this score range is not necessarily negative, it doesn't distinguish an applicant from the general pool. So use the rest of your application to highlight your strengths and qualifications to convince admissions committees to admit you. Though it depends on the dental school you're applying to, but generally a score of 20 or higher is considered competitive. Keep in mind though that dental schools look at your overall application, so a high DAT score alone won't guarantee admission. Now let's talk about what is a bad or below average DAT score. If your AA score is less than 17, it's time for a retake. This score is significantly below the average for all test takers and will make it difficult for you to gain admission to dental school. In fact, some schools won't even consider an application if there's a single subject score of less than 17. If your AA score falls between 17 to 18, you're below the average and your application may be uncompetitive. While it's not impossible to gain admission with these scores, a retake is strongly recommended. It's important to keep in mind that the average DAT score is increasing, making it more difficult to stand out with a score in this range. However, there are still dental students who have gained admission with scores in this category. Just be aware that a score in this range is more of a liability than an asset to your application. So, if your DAT scores fall into these ranges, consider retaking the test to improve your chances of getting into dental school. A common question among DAT test takers is, how many questions do I need to answer correctly to get a 20? Well, generally speaking, you can only miss around 5 questions in each individual science and math section to score a 20, which is the average for acceptance. Scores over 23 are very rare. In the perceptual test, you can miss around 20 questions to score a 20. Lastly, in the reading comprehension section, you can miss around 10 questions to score a 20. But it's important to keep in mind that these are just averages, and there are many different versions of the DAT being tested at the same time. Every DAT is scored differently according to its own difficulty. So there isn't much room for error on the DAT, and you don't have a lot of time for each question. That's why it's crucial to know how to get to the correct answer and the fastest method to get there. Using DAT practice tests will help you build these essential skills. Now let's discuss the other factors that can affect your chances of getting into dental school. One of the most important factors is your GPA. Dental schools usually consider both your overall GPA and your science GPA. A competitive overall GPA is typically around 3.5 or higher, while a competitive science GPA is around 3.3 or higher. Additionally, dental schools will consider the following factors: your shadowing and clinical experience. Gaining hands-on experience by shadowing dentists or working in a dental clinic can demonstrate your commitment to the profession and your understanding of the responsibilities of a dentist. Letters of recommendation. Strong letters from professors, dentists, or other professionals who can speak to your abilities and character are essential. Community service and extracurricular activities. Dental schools value well-rounded applicants who show a commitment to serving their communities and engaging in meaningful activities. Your personal statement. Your personal statement should convey your motivation for pursuing dentistry and demonstrate your communication skills. To sum it up, a good DAT score is an important component of your dental school application. However, it's essential to remember that your GPA and other factors also play a significant role in your chances of being accepted into a dental program. So, focus on building a strong overall application, and you'll be well on your way to a successful career in dentistry. If you want to check a more detailed discussion on this topic and the average DAT score of dental schools in the US, check our article in the description. That's it for today's video. If you found this information helpful, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more informative videos. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them below and we'll do our best to help you out. Good luck on your journey towards dental school, and thanks for watching.